Hello, you gorgeous, gorgeous people out there. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the stream. And today we are going to be cracking on with finishing off this season. Whether that's playoffs or miracles or failure, we will finish the season in today's stream just because it felt like it was time to finish the whole thing off. So we're going to hold a team meeting. I want us to ease the pressure on the players like it always does. Sure, qualification for the National League North is ours if we win here. That's not what's happening at all, but sure. Let's go with that. We could be correct, we could be wrong, we could be anything, to be honest with you. But either way, we are on board for what should be our last 3 games of the season, and then maybe we'll do a little bit of transferring and see what happens. But yeah, it's going to be a tall order to try and overcome Shields. Ideally, I'd like us to finish the league in 3rd, which we're 3 points away from. Purely because if we can pull that off, we can, we can avoid South Shields to the last possible moment, and then we can hope we get lucky. Good evening, Simon. How are you? Right, one change to our team from last time out. We're going to stick, if I can find him, Elijah Briscoe back on the bench. We were using... Good, glad to hear it, Simon. Glad to hear it. Yeah, we have been using Ronnie Stutter and Tim Apshon up top together because they seem to have hit a rich vein of form where neither can stop scoring. And it's kind of forced Elijah out the squad a little bit, which is odd because he's had 17 goals this season, but for some reason he cannot play with either of the other two. So we'll see how that goes. Hopefully a result will be incoming. That would be the ideal for us. And yeah, we can get things off to a cracking start with a good win. It's taking forever to load up the game. I don't know why. I don't know if there's something I've changed or something that's running in the background that's driving it mad. I've no idea. Either way, Telford's team. Amari Miller's a quality player. Theo Vassell's a quality player, and Jeff Hendrick's a quality player. So we'll watch out for those. They could all be dangerous to us. It's a massive match, blah, blah, blah. Go out, do your thing. Very simple. I am hoping that this will be quite a momentous one. I'm hoping we'll get a good result today. And, yeah, hoping that Beckford in his new number 10 role also will perform for us because he's been very, very good in it. So... feels like we're cooking something up with this team now. It feels like we've got momentum on our side. Perhaps a little bit late in the season, but it feels like we've got a little bit of momentum on our side, a little bit of luck, and we should be able to carry this one through the playoffs if our form stays as it's been. Because as we all know, what matters when you get to the playoffs is your form. The team in the best form usually wins the playoffs. And we're in very good form, but that's not going to help when Matty Stenson scores. That might, in fact, kill our season. It might kill our momentum entirely. And we've conceded from a corner, which is so weird seeing us concede from a corner because I've played so much Supermarine this week and we just score from just about every other corner with Frankie Monk. I'm not used to us not scoring from a corner or us conceding from a corner. It's very odd. Also, I feel like these graphics here, just a random thing that's been bugging me, need updating because they look like an old-timey telephone, and I don't think that's deliberate. I don't think SI has realised it. But to be fair, also their intended player base wouldn't notice because they've never seen a proper telephone. So, you know, that's life, I suppose. Anyway, that's my old person speech for the night, and let's try and get back into this game. Although it's getting made harder by the fact that Domi has been absolutely awful so far, and our 2 strikers haven't quite started firing yet. But at least we've got our new goalkeeper to help us out, as Watara finds Okoli back to Thomas, and Okoli again. He'll go forward for Beckford, finds Apshon, who gets tackled, but Beckford is there on the follow-up, and Beckford with a shot from range, not too far away, and hopefully we'll start building something before half time, get an equaliser, and we can go in at the break back on terms, and then really kind of come up the blocks firing in the second half as Thomas looks for a through ball to Beckford, doesn't find him, and Hendrick picks it up, goes to Amari Miller, who will be dangerous. Balls like that away will be dangerous, and how on earth? Oh, so glad that was disallowed, because that was close to a disaster for us. Very close to a disaster for us. Right, we're in injury time. This could just be a half-time highlight, to be honest, but we'll see. Domi finds Cahill. Cahill goes across to Hunter. It is a half-time highlight. The most pointless of all highlights, because I know half-time is coming. Right, let's... I feel like that's probably the play, and then we'll just grab Tim and Jeremy and just say, look, if you could just be a touch better, that'd be ideal. And then everyone else, we're just going to believe in them. And hopefully they'll take that belief and score some goals. That's what we need. Having Elijah Briscoe on the bench that I can send on to retrieve a goal if I need to, in theory, is certainly beneficial. The fact that all three of our strikers can play both of our roles up top really helps as well, because it gives me that kind of flexibility to shift them around. As Tim Apshon has now decided he doesn't want to be a big player for us as well, which is nice. Stutter is now recovering. They seem to be taking it in turns to be the worst of our strikers, which is not really what we were looking for. So let's make some changes. Tim's going to come out for Elijah. Hopefully that will lead to something good happening. Cahill isn't having the best game of his career, so I think we will stick Finley in there. We will stick Shooter on at left back. Replace a Coley with Wilkinson? Sure, why not? And then we'll take away Ouattara and put in Waldron. 5 subs at once. It's a big play, but this is one of those moments where you need a big play, to be honest. And we do need someone to come up strong for us. Or ideally, just not to concede again. But I'd like someone to step up and be the goal scorer that we desperately need here. Because we've just not come out the blocks today. Beckford's found Wilkinson. He's found Beckford. Beckford, that was very nearly a red card. Tackle. Slew is through. And he sets up Lewis. And the headlines write themselves. It's a slew of goals for Telford. And we are up the creek. Honestly, I think taking the FM26 of it all out of it, I think if we were looking at that as a realistic highlight, that whoever that was that made that tackle on Beckford, probably, I think it was, I can't find the guy on the pitch now, I think it was a Marty, probably gets sent off for violent conduct anyway, because it was a 2-footed tackle from behind. But, you know, either way, we've got to play the hand we're dealt. Hey Kit, we are going to end the season today. That's the plan. We are going to end the season today because we are very nearly there. We've got 2 games left in the league season after this, then playoffs. And if we keep playing the way we're playing today, we won't be in the playoffs very long, to be honest, because we have been thoroughly awful. As Wilkinson finds Beckford. Beckford gets through. Beckford with a shot. Lewis Beckford is paying me back for converting him to a 10 with goals like that. And I honestly chose him to start playing as a 10 at random just because he had the best vision in our midfield. And I just thought, we'll give him a go up there. And you know what? It's paying off. Oh, the real life season. The real life season. Well, I don't think we can. I don't think they're going to allow it, unfortunately, Kit. But we all very much wish we could. I'd certainly be happy with the season ending now because Swindon will be up automatically, and that would be job done for me. So Stutter's through. Ronnie Stutter, so close to rescuing a point for us. So close to rescuing a point for us. I'm hoping he can steal one before the end of the game, or anyone on our team can steal one before the end of the game. I mean, I say I'm all for ending the season as well, the kind of stop the count mentality, but also, realistically, we'd just be bored for 6 months, wouldn't we, until the World Cup that no one wants to happen. Because let's face it, nobody wants to watch a World Cup that is just Donald Trump on TV constantly. Jesus Christ! Jesus wept. I would like all of my defenders and my goalkeeper to explain what just happened there. Why is my goalkeeper outside his box? And why are our defenders on the halfway line? Genuinely baffling. And especially because Mitchell got caught out doing that earlier. Yeah, that's fair, Kit. That is fair. Just poor. It was just poor. That was a poor performance. Really, really poor. And now we've got 2 games left. Telford have secured a playoff place with that. And Macclesfield have 2. Which means that we have dropped down heavily. And we've got to play Bedford in 10th. And Worksop in 20th. We just need a win, allegedly. But to be fair, we actually just need a point. We just need 1 point from our last 2 games. But either way, we'll take it, I suppose, if we can get it. But it does look like we're going to have to go through the playoffs the hardest possible way, which I didn't want. That I can say for sure is a thing I did not want. That's a useful screen. Thanks for that. That was helpful. Okay, so we really need to win these last 2 games just to get our form back on track. I don't even know if you can look at a form table anymore. It's one of those things where I know I can on FM24. Can I look at a form table on FM26? Does that still... Or maybe. It does still exist. Wowza. Okay, we're 7th in the form table. Telford are well above us, though. Telford and Spennymoor are both above us. And they... and Shields... Oh, you'd have to say we're going to be in trouble in the playoffs, especially if Macclesfield managed to get into better form than us as well. We would be in trouble come the playoffs. And I'm really annoyed that our duo of star strikers have stopped scoring. Also, Liam's signed a contract. That's good. This is Liam's new gen that he's decided to buy with his channel points. He's all right for this level, I suppose. He's going to take a while to get turned into a footballer. But if we can secure the playoffs in a good position, the playoffs, and maybe we'll find a way to give him a sneaky debut. But, you know, picking the 10 might have been wise, because it's been a role I've been struggling to find anyone to work in. So I guess we'll find out shortly. Anishko injured by Beckford in training. Well, that's not going to go down well, because Lewis Beckford has taken Anishko's spot in the team. So I imagine those two weren't friends to begin with. But beating Bedford Town would be huge for us. Youth candidate evaluation decisions. Not many of them are any good. Sign them all, is what it's going to say, because that's what it always says. Yeah, sure. Let's just say yes, but he is going to sign all of them, even though there's a lot of them that probably aren't ever going to be a player. But he'll sign all of them, because that's what he always does. Okay, We are now nearly a week away. Oh, well, we are over a week from my birthday. No, we're not. We are nearly a week from my birthday. There we go. That's a thing we all learned. We've signed all our youth candidates, and yeah, at this point in game, I would be 42. That's terrifying. That's terrifying aging. Right, we are focus on our reinforced. Okay. We'll qualify for the playoffs. We've been in good form. We haven't, but let's say we have. Let's pretend we have, and then the players will make it look like we have. That's the plan. We've got some more homegrown players. I mean, they're all just players who've come out of our youth team. Of course they were homegrown at the club. They've been here since they were 8 or whatever. Winton, proud of our improvement. Isn't that nice? Isn't that kind? Good stuff. Good stuff. Right, Bedford at home. Alright, Liam. Yes, I've had a good day today. Thank you. How's your day been? Hope it's gone well. Right, let's let the assistant manager have a go at picking a team, shall we? I know it's a wild thought, Mr. Arsman, but if given a choice, tend to prefer to have fullbacks on my bench. I know I'm crazy, I know I'm wild, but I do prefer it when I've got fullbacks on my bench. And I also don't know why you'd be picking Anishko over Beckford when Anishko A isn't fully fit and B is nowhere near on the form that Beckford is. That's a bit mad. A little bit mad. We'll keep a Coley there. I don't think I want Shooter at left back. We'll give it a go. We'll give it a go. We only need 1 point from these last 2 games. Upgraded your PC? Oh, fancy. Fancy. What if we upgraded it too? Oh shit, it put Dion Conroy back in the starting lineup. We're going to lose this game. It is expensive to do these days. It really is. Although to be fair, I built a very decent gaming PC with parts I bought from Temu or Alibaba, one of the sort of Chinese drop shipping type companies. It was a very, very good PC and it cost me 500 quid in parts, I think, tops. New case, CPU and more fans, fancy. So, you know, despite some of the issues with them, you can get, as long as you have a vague idea of what you're doing, you can get decent parts from those kind of Chinese marketplaces for next to nothing. RAM is so expensive. Yours cost you 60 a year ago, now it's 350 because of AI. Really? Wow. I bought 32 gig of RAM about 6 months ago. Let me have a little look, see if I can get into the account I bought it from. But I think I paid way less than that. Let me have a look. I assume this is the right account. I assume it's not. Got to stop having 2 accounts for everything. That's really not ideal. Really not ideal. One of the top main manufacturers has stopped trading to consumers as of today. Who was that? Who stopped selling RAM? Was that Ali? But I think it might have been AliExpress. let's have a look. Let's see if I can find what I paid for RAM. And when. Because I have a feeling I paid less than a tenner for 32 gig. I have a suspicion. Oh no, I bought it as a pack with the motherboard and the hard drive. But I'm just looking at this now, just to what's popped up on my homepage. Like, and I say this having bought stuff from there before. I'll drop this in the chat for those of you who love computer bits and bobs. Oh, Micron. Oh, that naturally won't work because it's a bloody long link. Good. Is there a share button? There is a share button. Hopefully that will give me a shorter link to share with you guys. There we go. That's very similar to what I picked up, and it works perfectly. So that's a decent start, less than 25 quid. But anyway, let's get into this game because Bedford have just scored, and yeah, we came here to play football, not just talk about RAM. But AliExpress, you can definitely get some very good things like computer bits off there, and they all work. They're all just as good as the American counterparts or the European counterparts. People just kind of think of the markets as being a bit sketchy and don't buy from them, but like, it was delivered in under a week. It was fine. I didn't pay any import taxes or anything stupid on it either, so right, we've done what we did last stream. We started off playing really badly, but we don't have like 6 games to turn it around this time. We've got less than 4. And it's far from ideal. I don't know why Lewis Beckford has suddenly decided he doesn't want to do Cam as well as he should do, because he's been so good as R10 for the last few games. Stutter plays it through for Apshon, who gets brought down or gets crippled almost. Apshon turns into the box. Beckford off for Waldron to Cahill. Oh, my word. My word. I love how Stream Elements is now trying to plug something called Grab Tap, which I have no idea what that is or if I made it do that. But that's fun. That's fun. I'm sure it's a thing people enjoy or something. Right, Cahill's going to take a free kick and he is going to score it. That's going to be a thing that happens. Stutter to Conroy, back to Stutter, into the box. Tim Apshon gets a goal. Franklin Domi's got credit there for an assist, but I don't know if he actually touched that. Let's have a little look. Did he actually do anything with this? Because Stutter got it, then Conroy, back to Stutter. Through for Domi. It just bounced off his heels and he fell over. I don't think that counts as an assist. I think an assist has to be a deliberate act, not you were in the process of falling over and the ball bounced off you. But what do I know? So just saying now, basically have to win top 5 top leagues and domestic cup in the league. Oh. So you're sort of doing a pentagon, but domestic pentagon, I guess. Stutter into Beckford. Jesus Christ, Lewis. Score a goal, will you? I know you scored in the last game, but you know what I mean. Score a goal. I know a point here is good enough to take us into the playoffs, but I'd rather get the win, so we get the kind of form boost and the morale boost and all that kind of stuff. Sean Cahill's gone for a bit of a murder, and Dion Conroy was the last man back. And of course, because Dion Conroy runs like a sloth through treacle, yes, I would. Well, I think whether France is a top 5 league is debatable, because obviously England, Spain, Italy, Germany are the top 4. I'd argue that the Dutch and Portuguese leagues are probably better, but if you look at the cups, I think the only cups in the world, apart from the continental ones that are bigger than the Coupe de France, are the FA Cup and the Copa del Rey. So I guess it all depends how you balance it out, really. Like, the Coupe de France is definitely top 3, possibly top 2. People will make an argument for the Coppa Italia as well, but those cups aren't as cool because you don't get teams from all over the world playing in them, you know? Like, you get teams playing in the Coupe de France from like Tahiti, New Caledonia, French Guiana, Guadeloupe. It's kind of cool that way. It does have that unique distinction of being the only cup competition in the world where 2 teams from completely opposite time zones play each other, which is wild. Right, we're going to bring on Danny Anishko because Lewis Beckford has let himself down today, and we will also give Waldron a rest for Ouattara, probably Shooter a rest for Finley. I think I'm going to bring Frimpong in for a Coley just because he's looking tired. And even though he's allegedly playing well, I'm going to bring Hunter on for Dion Conroy just because I don't fully trust Dion Conroy to do something stupid and concede a goal for us, to be honest. It's entirely probable he will do just because, like I said, he runs like a sloth through treacle. So we're going to make that change just to give us a bit more backing. I hope Danny Anishko can look like the Danny Anishko we first inherited, because he was so good for us. But he has gone off the boil recently as Mitchell picks up the ball and will hopefully distribute it along. Does, looking for Stutter, who he can't find. And I've just realised, by committing to my 5 subs, we aren't going to be playing Elijah Briscoe in this match, which is rare. Whittaker over the top, looking for the run of Brunt. Mullins needs to cover him off and doesn't. Luckily, we've got that one clear. And Stutter has somehow come out of all that with the ball. Anishko forward for Domi, who's not paying attention, and loses possession for us. And we have got away with that in the worst way. Finley's been brought down, and somehow that's not a free kick. Terrell Whittaker is running at us. He's very quick and he's very, very good, but appears to be playing out wide, which will help us out. So we'll go with that. Brunt going backwards for Omarore. Whittaker with a cross. Jesus Christ. Mitchell, for the love of God. You're supposed to be like one of the best goalkeepers at this level. And how have you not come for that properly? Like, Whittaker puts this ball over. As the goalkeeper, you've got to commit there. You've either got to commit to going to the man at the back post or holding your line. You can't do both and do some weird little at it and hope no one will notice. And it's very possible we could not qualify for the playoffs, which is not really what we wanted. I didn't want this to be a 3-game stream. I know it's late, but I didn't want it to be a 3-game stream. Especially because we've been up now for, what, half an hour. Right, we have one game left. In fact, we should be confirmed playoffs after that because Scarborough have done nothing, Kings Lynn have done nothing. We're 5 points clear. We might actually be confirmed for the playoffs, which is miraculous. And this is the point where I have to do playoff maths. I was intending to go to the end of the season with FM at least. And then we'll see where the wind takes us. That was the plan. I don't think I'll be streaming past 1. I think 1 is the latest I would be streaming. But I also feel like I've said that before. So we'll see. Right. We actually have nothing to play for in this last game whatsoever. Because we can't get into 5th. We can't drop down to 7th. We are going to end up playing Telford, probably, or Spennymoor. Hopefully Spennymoor, to be honest. Mac is an outside bet. So I think our next game, just while we've got a bit of a break. It's true, I did say yesterday I'd do an hour, and I ended up being on forever. I actually didn't go to bed till like 7 a.m. this morning, because I was hanging out with Benny, and Christ knows where I ended up after Benny. Twitch, when you're not careful, if you get caught in enough streams with enough raiders and enough raiding and things, it's a bit like going clubbing in your 20s. Like, oh, I'm just going to go out for 1. And then before you know it, it's friggin' dawn. Right, let's get rid of our loanies for a second. We will put Sané in the team for this next game. Danny Anishko needs the fitness, so he may as well play. Ronnie can start up top, of course. Otis can have a first game. In fact, he's a bloody right winger. I have been teaching him to play Cam, though. Can Danny Anishko do anything else? Not proficiently. I feel like we're just going to we'll put Danny Anishko back on the bench. We're going to try Honor as a 10. That's the plan. Walton can be the right back. Essentially, we're just going for our biggest potential players here. We'll give them a run out. I think Remy Mitchell needs to be dropped, though. How long's Halliday out for? 10 more days, and we've got 7 until the game. Where's our third choice goalkeeper? Jacob, you can go in goal for this one. Mason Hunter can go in at centre-half. I guess Cahill's going in as a central midfielder. Shire LeBurton can be on the bench. In fact, let's put Lenny in there. Let's put you in there. Let's give Beckford a run in midfield. And then on the bench, we can go with... Darian can be the left back. Why not? We've got another right back lying around. I guess it's going to be Jeremy. And then we'll put Harry there. Then Harrison can go in there as well. With Chucks. And just because it's got to happen sometime, Liam can have a spot on the bench as well. Why not? There we go. Right. I completely forgot there was football on today, Liam, to be honest. It happens a lot. I completely forget there's football on. Right, let's holiday through here, and I'm going to go for a quick walk. I'll be back in a moment, but we will be back very, very quickly. We are back. Yeah. I didn't think you were qualified to be a Liverpool fan. You're not from Essex, are you? Such an old joke. Such an old joke, but you've got to make the old jokes sometimes. Right. Oh, one game to go. Hang on, where's the other game? Why are more matches popping up? Hang on a minute. Hang on. How has that workshop game happened? I'm sure I holidayed to next match. Did I hit next month instead? Oh, it's a good job I caught that. We could have been in trouble. Let's see what happened in that game, shall we? Just get an idea of how things went with our youngsters playing. To be fair, 2-1 with our kids out there isn't too bad. I was meaning to give Liam a run out. Did Liam get... It took Liam off the bench. Absolute savagery. It took Liam off the bench. Lenny O'Sullivan had an absolute nightmare out there. Beautiful. Beautiful. Well, that was good. At least we made the playoffs. That's what matters. We've made the playoffs. And we are going... You might sneak on a bench in the playoffs, Leo. You might. But... Yeah, I thought we were gonna stop at the game, and for some reason we carried on. I was like, why? What happened? Why? It's because I've hit next month rather than next match. There's only one leg, so how this will work is I'll explain with a table in front of me because that's going to be the easiest way to explain it. But let's just go back to where we've got a table in front of us. How this will work? We've got a takeover happening. That could be good. Right. How this will work is. So we play Macclesfield. The winner of that game will play Spennymoor, I believe. And the winner of that game plays whoever is left from Morecambe, Telford and Fylde. I believe that's how that goes. Our kit, we're both dropping the classic jokes tonight. Good times. Yeah, let's see what this takeover is about. I want to see the word tycoon. Nope. It's just a director. It's just an internal one. Where are our ITKs? Cool. I mean, if he clears the debts, that's honestly half the battle for us. Honestly, half the battle for us is if he clears the debts. I just hope he does it before we get through the playoffs, because that way I don't have to worry about a transfer embargo while I'm trying to rebuild the team. / looking at what... Oh, that was quick, wasn't it? Jesus Christ. I've never seen a takeover happen in 24 hours in FM before. Didn't the chairman say... We did, didn't we? We did just get a takeover. What the hell is happening? Yeah, we did. So that's this is our second takeover since we arrived at the club. You're not wrong. Unless we're both having a moment. Can we still look at... Yeah, we got a new chairman in January. He's lasted more or less exactly 3 months. And then someone else has taken over. And actually, considering we're only 2 years or so into the save, that is the third takeover the club has had in 2 seasons. He possibly didn't have enough. It could be Yeovil. It could be. It's wild, though. That's mad. Has that actually helped us out financially in any way, shape or form, though? That's the big question. It looks like he's taken out a loan to buy the club. It hasn't really helped. Okay, we need to fire through these playoffs. We need to get ourselves promoted. I'm going to have a quick little look just before we do that, though, just to see what is available out there. You know, in the ether. In the ether, let's tempt fate just to see what we can get. Yeah, Twitchy, that's not how we play. Because we're grown ups. We do it through hard work. I mean, if we were to go to another club, I did say I wanted to leave England, which gives us the choice really of Trefelin Boys and Girls Club, who ironically I don't think have a women's team. Go figure. And these teams in Tahiti, who all have enormous budgets. For whatever reason, they always seem to have enormous budgets on this mod pack. Ballymacash Rangers is a place we could go. It's not impossible we could get a job in Serie C or in the Brazilian or Chilean lower leagues. I'd love Dinamo Dresden. If I could get the job at Dinamo Dresden, I'd be all over it. But I don't want to go in for it just yet. I mean, it would be excellent. It's such a good story to be told there. Yeah, I think my thinking was if we win the playoffs, we'd sort of aim to stay, but we'd be open to we'd be open to jobs elsewhere. If someone came with an offer, we'd look at it. I do like the idea of Dinamo Dresden, though. My glasses, Twitchy. You're asking weird questions again. Are from Glasses Direct. Not really in a hurry to go to North Korea. It's got to be said. It's nowhere near as interesting as it looks. I mean, the board love us, so that's fine. They want us to reach the semi-finals. They want us to get through at least one match, which is great. North Korea actually isn't, Simon. So, oh dear, we're going to drop some more. I have actually visited many years ago. It's just boring. It's like going to Slough with more Korean people, to be honest. That's really the long and short of it. It's just Slough with more Korean people, which they should put on their tourism posters, to be honest. Right, I want Frimpong in there. Kim Jong Office is outstanding. That is an outstanding call, Simon. Take a bow. Take a bow, son. That is a joke you can tell your grandmother, but it's also an outstanding joke. I was looking for a right back. Watara. Why have I still got my youth team players in my squad? Right, we'll take Conroy off the bench because he really doesn't have anything to offer. Bateson's going in for Conroy. In fact, Bateson, I think, is going to go in for Hunter for this one. Twitchy, if you don't recognise a reference to Kim, I really can't help you, I'm afraid. It's really not a lot I can do to help you out. I was like, why have I only got a few players there? It's because Tim Apshon is missing because I've got the loans and trials unticked. Outstanding. I'm so smart. Don't let anyone tell you I'm not smart. I'm well smart. Everyone says it. Like my mum says it, and people she tells to say it say it. We'll put Sona on the bench. Why not? Right. And actually, because Danny Anishko has been utter dog turd lately, let's come on. That's the worst way to pick players I've ever witnessed. Where? There we go. Liam can go on the bench for this one. You might get a debut, Liam. You might get a debut. Asking Stream Elements what song is playing when there's clearly no song playing is bold. Right. Let's get this done. Let's get this done. We just need to win one game and our board are super happy with us. Forever. Well, you know, until they're not happy with us. Oh, I forgot they had Anton Dvorak. And they've got Josh Failer. Oh, we're in trouble. We're in trouble. Okay, no pressure. Go do things. Go make difference. Please play nice football. Play, please. Thanks. This is the first game of the playoffs, Liam. This is the first game of the... Oh, that's working perfectly. Take a bow, SI. Outstanding UI. We love it. We love it when that comes together. Yeah. This is the first game of the playoffs. And we have to win. Oh, come on. Are we doing this crap again as well? Why? I'm sure I did it before. Oh, Macclesfield will score. We haven't seen the goal because of course we haven't. It won't let me change so we can see the match. Oh yeah, they always claim they fix crap like this and they never bother. We fixed this before, didn't we? I know we fixed it before and it didn't really do much, but there we go. We're a goal behind. Sure, Twitchy. I don't understand. Kit, I think that's a very good idea. I think you've just had a very good idea. Akoli. Ball forward for Apshon. Come on, let's get a goal. Let's get a goal. Anytime now. Oh, come on. I think we'll start with one and see how that works. You know, slow escalation, Kit. Slow escalation. Domi. Going forward, looking for Beckford. To Apshon. To Stutter. Stutter's through. Oh, Jesus, Ronnie. Ronnie. What on earth, Ronnie? Right, come on. Get something. Apshon's through. Tim's through. Big Tim scores. It's 1-1. Big Tim. Big Tim. What a legend he is becoming. I hope he gets released by Bristol City at the end of the season so we can sign him. Because Big Tim absolutely has been glorious lately. just no words. We just needed a goal, and we need to not concede here. Perfect stuff from Mitchell and Thomas. Forward now to Domi, to Frimpong to Cahill to Beckford and to Frimpong again. Finds Stutter. Tim Apshon is through. He's making his way through the defence, straight at the goalkeeper, but either way, it was just stuff, really. I'm very concerned that our midfield seems to not be involved in this game at all. That's problematic. Well, I mean, to be fair, I don't control the number of ads. I barely control the frequency of ads, and even that's just a setting where I can choose whether they happen every hour or every 45 minutes. There's not a lot I can do about the ads, unfortunately. Josh Walker is not doing a thing. No, I think it has to do 3 minutes of ads every hour. And basically the choice I have to make is whether you get all 3 minutes in one go or whether you get 2 minutes of adverts every 45. And I think mine is set to 2 minutes every 45 just because I feel like you're less likely to miss something in 2 minutes, which is why I've got it set up that way. And I spent like a solid 10 minutes thinking about that decision, so that was more math than I ever thought I'd do on Twitch. Right, Remy, play better. All of you guys really need to play better. That annoys me as well. It really annoys me that you have to click precisely in the box or it deselects everything. It's just... We'll tell our strikers, though, that we're happy with their effort. That's fair. That's it. Subscribe to avoid ads. That's the only way. It's the only way. Which reminds me, actually, I realised there is a I realised that there is a lovely loophole with the Twitch subsystem in that my family is apparently all going to use their Prime memberships to get Prime subs to the channel. Not one of them ever watches Twitch. I told you, Anton, Forshack was going to be an issue. Not one of them ever watches Twitch, but I was like, look, if you just click this Prime sub link thing here, Jeff Bezos gives me money for free. It would be odd not to be related to someone. Just spawn out of nowhere like a video game character. Do you remember when I signed Mitchell and I was like, oh, this guy is the missing piece of our defence. He's going to change everything. It's not really working, is it? Oh, come on. Defend better. Okay. Okay. Well, that was the fastest way to get banned. Right, chat. I'm gonna ask a serious business question here. We are 3-1 down. In a playoff game we need to win. Do we take the L, or do we play with the absurd 4-1-5 strikerless meta bullshit formation? What do we feel like? All right, I can't guarantee it's going to work, and I have to find it because I know it's around somewhere. Think it's this one. Let me grab the original version of it. Because I don't like using a meta formation if I can avoid it, but I figure we're in a position now where this is pretty much lost anyway. We may as well have a little bit of a play, right, and see what something looks like. Because that's always fun. So, to be fair, to make this tactic work, Liam, you would in fact have to get your debut. So, are we gonna? We not? There we go. Right. So this is the into the void tactic that's been doing the rounds, and it honestly looks like hell. To be completely frank with you, it looks like hell, but I am reliably informed that it works. If you put all the right bodies in all the right places, I'm reliably informed. Why has that happened? I didn't want to take Frimpong and a Coley off. What have I done wrong there? What have I done wrong? Right. Yeah, I'm reliably informed that this is the big meta tactic of FM26. Let's put a Coley there because he's not booked. And we'll have a look at it. We'll have a play with it. See if it does anything at all of use. In fact, let's stick Watara in as the holding midfielder. Yeah, so Omega Luke had a massive rant about this the other day because it's so unrealistic. But yeah, this is the both of it. Allegedly, you put a striker in here, not a winger, not an attacking midfielder, and he'll score like 70 goals a season. I just need for Elijah Briscoe to score 2, to be quite honest. But we'll give it a go. We'll see if it actually does anything. See if we can make it work for us in half an hour. Because you never know. And then we might never talk of it again, or we might play it throughout the playoffs and get promoted. Who knows? Cahill. Jesus Christ, it got Shea Cahill scoring. That's how you know it's a meta tactic. It got Shea Cahill playing. Outstanding. When you can get a goal from Shea Cahill, you have broken tactics. You have broken tactics. You never know, Liam. You might actually get a goal in this one too. I just realised whilst I was switching players around, I did it in an out of possession thing, didn't I? I did that way round, and then we'll let's put Tim in the middle, Liam on the right, again there, right. Make sure I've got everyone in the right place. Yeah, I don't either. Like it's such a mental illnessy type situation that I don't want to like properly dig them if I don't have to. But it is a little bit unhinged. Also, Liam's so into the cause that he's become one of those players who just tattoos a number on his back and goes around shirtless. It's hero work from Liam. It's a really weird hobby. It's really strange. Right, come on, let's get a third goal. A third goal would be great. For us. If we get a third goal for us. Let's try to tell me we've still got a sub left. Do we still have a sub left? We probably do. We'll look at that in a second. In fact, it's going to be Thomas, isn't it? Thomas off for Mullins. We're through. Oh, that was close, wasn't it? That was close. 5 minutes to play. I don't see us getting a third goal, but I will say the meta is looking pretty good, judged by how those match stat sliders have gone. Remy Mitchell's got injured, but no one will notice anyway. We have lost. We crashed out of the playoffs at the first time of asking. But Liam has made his debut. So, that's a win. I suppose, if we're going to take anything from this game, Liam has made his debut for Hemel. We haven't managed our goal. But, it's been a reasonable season. I think, let me just check what my contract is saying here. When do we end our contract? In a year. I think I'm going to put in an application for the Dynamo Dresden job. Just because I think that'd be a really interesting place to go. If we don't get any of these jobs, or we don't get sacked for applying for these jobs, we'll do something. We'll stay here. But let's just pick a few interesting places to go and manage, like Brazil, like Chile, like Germany. I'm tempted to apply for this job in Serie C, but I really hate managing in Italy. Just the rules make no sense. We can probably get one of these A-League jobs, to be honest. We could probably get the Cincinnati job, but I don't have the mental bandwidth right now to be dealing with MLS rules. Let's throw an application for Wrexham too. Why not? Why not? Try to figure out what happens when Emmy and Nomi meet. Do the two women behave like matter and antimatter? Well, that's a question that I never thought I'd be asked to contemplate, and I don't know is the answer. So, Dynamo Dresden, if we get this job, or if we were to get this job, would be really interesting. They're one of those clubs that you have to be a real football nerd to have this as a thing in your head. But Dynamo Dresden were one of the biggest clubs in the East German League back in the day. Obviously, back in the day, there's no East Germany anymore. For some reason, it doesn't store all the records for all the history. But yeah, they were one of the biggest teams in the old East German League. And none of the teams that played in the East German League have ever won the Bundesliga. There was a stat up until recently that no team from East Germany had ever won the Bundesliga, which is a different stat entirely. But then RB Leipzig won it. So, you might not be wrong, and it did cross my mind that I had a feeling there was some kind of supporter thing with them. Let me have a look at the Dynamo Dresden supporter culture thing, shall we? Because if that's actually a thing, then we won't go there. But they do have an interesting history. Supporters. One of East Germany's best supported clubs, have a close relationship with FK Sarajevo, have a fractious relationship with Dynamo Berlin. Most notable rival in their home city is with Dresdner, because Dresdner play in local football leagues. That didn't help me at all. Thanks, Wikipedia. So they are notorious for having quite violent ultras. but nothing says. I haven't seen anything saying right wing yet. Oh, oh, oh. I did just see the words neo-fascist. I did just see the words neo-fascist in relation to their supporters. Well, let's see if the Dynamo Berlin job pops up, shall we? What's our budget like? I mean, there isn't a lot I can do with that. I mean, we've done well to get them to the playoffs with this. It's possible that St. Pauli's rivals are Hamburg, actually. Yes, they are. Hamburg and Hansa Rostock. So the one with Hamburg is just kind of because they're near each other. And the one with Hansa Rostock is because Hansa Rostock are a very right-wing club. A very, very right-wing club. I think it's an issue in a lot of East German clubs. I think Dynamo Berlin are the exception. I think. I mean, I say this, supporters and rivalries. God, there's so many words. So many words on their YouTube, on their Wikipedia page. So it looks... Oh, so it's interesting. They have some far right fan groups, but the board are specifically anti-fascist, which is interesting in itself. Right, we've not got the job at Cobresal, so we are not going to Chile. Was that Chile? Yes. We're not going to Chile. I don't really... Do I fancy Portugal? France could be interesting. Versailles could be an interesting place to go manage for the history of Versailles. I'm just very aware none of those bigger clubs are going to hire us. We'd probably struggle to even get like Nuri City. Jeonnam Dragons are a possibility. It's not out of the question we might get an interview for De Graafschap. And maybe this job in Colombia. We'll see. Maybe. Feels more like the Bath situation before the fascists were kicked out. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, Liam, it was Wrexham in the Welsh League, so that's Wrexham women in the Adran Premier. Their women's team play in the Welsh League and their men's team play in the English League. Same with Cardiff and Swansea. And I think Newport? I think. It's either Newport or Merthyr. One of them has their women's team in, but the other one doesn't. I think it's more likely to be Merthyr that does. Because Newport have always been quite proud of the fact that they are exiles. So if we look at the league table overall, You've got Wrexham in there, TNS, Swansea, and Cardiff. I don't know why it's only an 8-team league. That seems like bad decision making to me, but what do I know? We don't get to see the division below, but I think Newport play in it as well. Is there no promotion relegation from this league? Why am I looking at the XG table all of a sudden? Why is that a thing it decided to show me? Good. This thing's so broken, man. Right, Connor's Kia. I can't faff around with a UI that doesn't work properly. Cannot faff with a UI that doesn't work properly. But the thing with the Women's Welsh League, with the Adran Premier, is that the Welsh League is actually it's quite capable of producing competitive European teams. You're redoing the US All Lads save. Wow, that's a start. With more leagues. Bold, beautiful, brave. We love to see it. We love to see it. Right, John Nam Dragons don't want us. Which is probably fair, because they've probably got no idea who we are. I can't imagine there's many people watching the National League North or the Greek Second Division. Or taking the players from Ferencváros is always a smart move. Who's the other team in Hungary that has good players? Is it Debrecen? Debrecen tend to produce some decent players. How have we paid taxes? We haven't made any profits at all. What are you talking about? We've just been hemorrhaging cash all year. Jesus. Reservations because we have a lack of experience going teams away from relegation. Okay. Okay, cool. That was nice. That was nice. They just don't want us. Jobs will undoubtedly appear in the near future. And like I said, if they don't, we will look at rebuilding. I'm not in a hurry to do any rebuilding in terms of the transfer window just yet, because there's not really a lot of point. Yeah, the no job situation is always a fun one, especially when you're trying or looking at leaving clubs. Unsuccessful for the Wrexham job. What reason do we think they're going to say for not giving us the Wrexham job? I'm going to say not guiding enough teams into European competition. That's fair. That's fair. Definitely an upgrade in the women's game, for sure. Reservation about our ability to deliver the club's vision for the future as a result of our complete lack of experience in winning league titles. Alright. Cheers, guys. Yeah, that's it. No history of promotions, no history of winning league titles, no history of blah blah blah. I have recently found a new fun and exciting bug in FM, which I'm sure you've all seen coming. So in the Wheel of Chaos save I'm playing through in the Albanian League, I decided that I was going to loan out our 19-year-old third choice goalkeeper, so get him some first team experience, you know, like we all do. And my squad went full music. Why are you selling our goalkeeper? A, I'm not, I'm loaning him, and B, he played so little in his role as third choice goalkeeper that he'd been with me for 2 years and I'd forgotten he was there until I got given a loan offer for him. And yet the squad are throwing a fit because I'm loaning him out. Genuinely just baffling. Baffling logic under the hood. I'm glad it's not just me, Kit, because I looked at that and I just went, are you serious? Because it's such a stupid thing for the team to want to have a talk to you about. Like, every one of them realistically will go, oh, well, it's a loan, and he's the third choice keeper, and he's 19. He does need to be playing. Good luck, mate. Give me a call if you need anything. Like, happened during United BS. We shouldn't be having conversations about issues that have existed since the beta save. Oh my god. I know I hate managing in Italy, but I fucking love Pescara. Oh, if we got the Pescara job, can you even imagine? Scotland appeals too. Yeah, that's fair. Just avoid having players with good leadership who are of quality of low quality is always strong. Well, I'm not actually desperate to leave. I just you never know if a good job's going to come up. See, AS Vaete are an interesting proposition in Tahiti. 18 on Rio Ave, the club we bought him from, promised that if he left, I would replace. He didn't go in the end. They got pissed at you because you didn't sign your left back. Yeah, it's mad. They've done really badly because they've not played in the French Cup. So for those unfamiliar with how that works, in Tahiti, if you win the Coupe de Polynésie, the winner of that goes on to play in the Coupe de France the following season. It's a bit like European qualification. It's a really, really cool system. They can't have won it the season before because they were in the Champions League. Who won it the season before? Let me see if I can show you how this works. Past winners. Tafana didn't play it for 3 seasons. Let's see if Tafana played in the French Cup. Weird. They should have played in the French Cup. Odd system. Odd one. I thought it was going to be an interview offer there. Yeah, I feel like a jump to Scotland could be interesting. We could spend some time in Scotland because it's not England, and then maybe overthrow the Glasgow clubs. That might be an interesting chapter. Offers made for Hemel Hempstead Town's Dowrich. Indeed, the French Cup system does have Saint-Pierre and Miquelon in it. Beautiful island too. Beautiful, or I think it's 2 islands. But yeah, beautiful part of the world. Hang on, you want to not pay me money for him and have me pay his wages? To quote the late and not at all missed Hulk Hogan, that doesn't work for me, brother. You are gonna know. No, I'm not gonna pay you to take a player who's leaving me in 6 weeks' time. He can just go. He is at this stage not my problem. No, Simon, I will be on tomorrow night. It will probably be earlier tomorrow. I am hoping I will be up for about 8 or 9 at the latest tomorrow. I really do want to start streaming earlier, but thank you for stopping by, Simon. I will see you tomorrow, hopefully, where we may either be here or with a surprise club, and we'll never know which one until it happens, I guess. Indeed, Simon. Thank you very much. Okay, so we don't be getting many offers, do we? We do not be getting many offers. Questions from the non-league papers. Sports please when Collins made it clear he wanted to leave, blah blah blah. Sure. Let's just carry on with our lives. Good stuff. Right. You've made an offer for Bateson. He was arguably our best centre-half last season. But he is replaceable. Because everyone at this level is replaceable. Yeah, sure. Let's let him go. Let's let him go. Why not? It's genuinely weird that we've not had a single offer. Really think Michigan produces a shocking amount of ice hockey talent and very little talent on the pitch for a place the size of Sweden. Yeah? Yeah? Although, to be fair, Michigan does spend a lot of the year frozen. Like, especially, you know, suburban and rural Michigan. So it's not the biggest surprise they produce quite a lot of hockey players. Weren't the Mighty Ducks from Michigan? I mean the film ones, obviously, not the Anaheim Ducks. Was that film not set in Michigan? Am I misremembering that? I could be, because it was 30 years ago and I'm also old. But that feels like a thing I remember being a thing. See, we could Stranraer. Stranraer is one of those places that I could not point to on a map if my life was on the line. And I only really know it exists because of the guy that did the football scores on Grandstand back in the day. Just because I remember him saying it in a really odd way. Minneapolis, Minnesota. There you go. See, I remember some stuff. Oh no, I don't. I don't. Minnesota's a different place to Michigan. Oh well. Geography. Geography is my strong suit tonight. Good. I don't know if it's picking up on the stream at all, but there is a car alarm going off outside my window. And it has been going off now for a long time. So I'm assuming you guys can't hear it because I figured one of you would have mentioned it by now. But it's super loud. Like, I'm so glad my windows aren't open because that would be drilling into my brain more than it already is. Yeah, that sort of makes sense. That sort of makes sense because they're all basically Canada. So that sort of makes sense. We are not getting offered jobs, which suggests to me that we are not wanted by anyone. So I guess, barring something bizarre, we're probably staying at Hemel next season. Which is fine. Watermans have to start taking rebuilding this team a bit more seriously than I have been. By which I mean I have to actually look at the squad and who's available. And who's leaving. You're not wanting to show me the first team? Thank you. Right, let's see who we're losing. And indeed who we'd like to keep that we're not losing. Right. You can go. Oh, you're already going. Good. In fact, let's get rid of the youth team players for a second. Just because that'll make this easier. Tim Apshon's contract is ending. That's interesting. What's Mason Hunter going to cost to renew? He's on 14.5. He wants... No! But, buddy, no. No, I'm not doubling your wages. You've been moaning half the year. Finn Wilkinson, we can say safely is leaving. Should do it online save for a stream, maybe. Apparently it's broken. I don't know if it is. I was funny, Liam. I was thinking about that earlier. I was thinking earlier it might be nice to do like a stream of like an online season with all of you guys just kind of playing, well, whether it's just playing against each other. I thought that might be interesting. It was an idea that came through my head. I remember Alexi Lalas. He was the fellow with a big ginger afro. I am familiar with Alexi Lalas's game. Played in Italy for Bari, I believe, in the 90s. Yeah, I'll have a look. We might do it as like a weekend thing, like a Sunday afternoon thing. It won't be this week because I'm going to be watching the Grand Prix on Sunday. I intend to do nothing but eat a roast dinner and watch the F1 finale for the season. Because I think it's going to be a cracking race. If it's broken now, I'd imagine it will be in the update plan. Would be my guess. But I do emphasise guess because I'm no more privy to any information than anyone else. Unfortunately, there used to be a time where I would have that information for you, but sadly that time is not now. Oh, it's going to make me overpay for him, but I do want to tie him down because I think he can be really good for us. And I think we'll give Bubba Sane another year too. Think we'll give Bubba Sane another year. In fact, we could loan him out. That's not an awful decision. The squad will hate me for it because, you know, he's played all of 0 times for us, so he's clearly a key player. But yeah, we'll see what happens with the update, and if it looks like we're working, if it looks like it's working properly, maybe we'll do something next weekend, Liam. Maybe we'll try and get everyone online for online seasons in some league or other. Because that could be fun. There are, I believe, quite a few racing drivers from Michigan. Not least because also it's where Detroit is. So yeah, Brad Keselowski from NASCAR is from Michigan, as is Eric Jones, Carson Hocevar, uh, Scott Melton, who apparently is 62 and still drives in ARCA. And that's pretty much it. It's certainly not the most populous for racing drivers, because that is still almost certainly North Carolina. I think everyone in North Carolina drives racing cars. You're right, actually, Johnny Benson Jr. There's a thing. Is there anyone else who stands out to me as a name? Vern Slag. That's just got me in trouble with YouTube. Vern Slag is a great name for a racing driver, though. NASCAR Busch Series driver, who is now 85. Gordon Johncock. There's a name from back in the day. Or Akin Odemayo's available. On a free? Nah. Bloody hell. I mean, I've got to. Really. I've got to put an offer for Akin Odemayo. That's a good plan. You actually want 50 grand a year now. But it bloody does as well. Actually does want 50 grand a year to be a squad player. Yeah, sorry, Akin, mate. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. I'm not paying anyone that. I will play the youth team before I pay someone 60+ thousand pound a year to play at this level. If I had to guess, Elodie, I would say that is because there is a racetrack in Coldwater, Michigan, I believe. I believe there is a racetrack there. I might be wrong. But I'm reasonably sure there is a racetrack there or nearby. Also the home of Dan 7. That's fun. Aha, that's why I'm aware of it. No, he wasn't. He definitely wasn't on that at Swindon, for sure. For sure. I was gonna say I had a feeling there was a race. I knew there was a racetrack somewhere near Coldwater, but it's cool that it's also the home of Dan 7, the Beast. Oh, what a legend! What a legend Dan 7 is. They would like. I'd have been an acceptable fit for the club somewhat. Thanks. We're not going to the ATL. I cannot start my third-rate hip-hop career. It's a shame. It's a shame. I can't start my third-rate hip-hop career in this save. I guess we'll have to suffer without me dropping rhymes. Gutted. Gutted. Really is bizarre though that after we've massively overperformed with Hemel this season, nobody wants to give us a job. Like, I know we got sacked in Greece, but You'd have thought someone would have been having a look. Palermo are too big. I've never heard of those guys, so I'm going to take a risk and chuck an application at an Italian club. Britain Ferry would be interesting if they didn't need a rebuild because they've just been relegated. Lincoln are in the Championship. Well, not for long, but they're in the Championship. Who else is up there? Chavez B. Wow. KFC. We can apply for a job at KFC. Magic. I have very deliberately not applied for that Chavez job because I know we'll get it. There has always been a long-standing bug in FM games that B and C teams just hire you anytime you apply for them. And to be honest, the Liga Portugal 2 doesn't really appeal to me as a place to manage, with no chance of real progression because you can't get promoted because Chavez are in the top flight, the level above. And also, if Chavez got relegated, you could just get relegated and fired for no good reason. Like, I could win the Liga B in or Liga 2 in Portugal, but if Chavez got relegated, I would get relegated and sacked. It's a bit stupid. Like, realistically, what would happen is that Chavez would fire their manager and they would give me the job. But we're playing against Gresford. We've not been back to Gresford since the last journey. I mean, I have. I've literally been to Gresford during the last journey, actually. But yeah, nothing popping up is interesting. Nothing job-wise popping up is very, very, very interesting. I feel like between seasons just takes forever. Like, it's always just processing so much. Still no offers there I want. Oh, an offer from... If there's a club in Gibraltar needs a manager, we could go there. Always up for a trip to Gibraltar. I enjoy the fact that there are no work permit or squad rules. You? Je suis confusé, Liam. Je suis confusé. Deportes les manches. That's alright. I am currently... Oh, Churchill Brothers. Absolutely up for that. Currently unsure. If we get a good offer, I will probably take it. FC Stockholm in the Northeastern League. Oh, okay, that's a bit of a cheeky one to go for, but I will go for that one. I will go for that one if we get it. I do fancy a trip to FC Stockholm. I do fancy a trip to Churchill Brothers in India. That could be interesting. But FC Stockholm are a very interesting club because, as I'm sure we're all aware, and it's okay to pretend we're all aware, so the Etan Norra is the third tier of Sweden, but Stockholm has some huge clubs. Ike are in Stockholm. I think Djurgårdens might be. Basically, quite a lot of the top Swedish clubs are in Stockholm, and FC Stockholm are a bit below. Yeah, Churchill Brothers, LLE, they are one of the better teams in the Indian League. Very interesting place to go for a save is India, because of the way the game is coded under the hood. You can, if you can get their youth system upgraded enough, their youth training and stuff upgraded enough, and you can really push to build the dynamic youth potential, which does move eventually, suddenly you find every team in India looks like prime Brazil. It was an experiment I did for FM24 that I never made the video on, just to see if it was possible. And I don't think I kept the save because I realised it was going to be like a 9-hour video because I put so much time into it. And it would have taken so much time to explain how it all worked. But yeah, eventually I did have India just producing players like they were Brazil. It was crazy. Because the game works out the percentage of players that are at top standard for the country based on the population of the nation. So basically, if you've got a youth rating of 190 for India, you'll find that something like half of the new gens that come through India have 150 plus PA. It's incredible. And then you just hoover them up and wait to win a Champions League. The league have made an offer for Sona. We are getting offered nothing. Like, I understand us not getting offered jobs in Italy or Spain or Brazil or whatever, but you'd think a National League North manager would get a look in Scotland, like in the Scottish 4th tier. You'd think I'd get an interview just for being interested. Like, it's wild that you wouldn't get an interview for that. Well, we can all dream. See, Churchill Brothers have turned me down. Churchill Brothers had never turned down a manager with professional experience in England or anywhere. To be honest, they'd never turned down someone with professional managerial experience for an interview for the Indian League, because I've seen the managers that end up in the Indian League, and some of them were like youth team coaches in friggin' Iceland. Like, there's a few Swedish jobs starting to pop up. It's because it's the middle of the Swedish season, isn't it? It's because it's the middle of the Swedish season. We could probably get the Simrishamn job. Simrishamn could be interesting. Every Swedish club has this badge, by the way. It's really confusing. This is the 4th tier of Sweden, though. Like, it's so low down. So low down. Like, it could be fun, but it's a backwards move. And if we look at that league table, realistically, I'd have to get that squad rebuilt in a couple of days to get staying up. I don't know. I don't know. Like, it's a really easy league to get out of. Yeah. I mean, it's not. It's probably not an awful squad, but the work I'd have to put in to rebuild this team just to keep them up. And then you're committing to 18 months for a promotion, realistically. But I know we get it. That's the thing. I know we get it. But I'm not desperate to move on. That's the thing. It's like, I know we'd get the Zebra Elites job, but there's nothing you can really do with it bar getting an easy promotion on your CV because your team is just Anderlecht players. Sorry, Charleroi players even. We'll try the team at the top of the I-League. I don't want to go back to Greece because we've done that. We'll have a look at Shmua. We'll have a look at... I don't really want to look at Oslo. There really isn't anything particularly exciting there. Really isn't anything particularly exciting on that job list. So it looks like we are going to go again. Yeah. It drives me mad, Liam. It drives me mad that that screen has that much dead space. Like, they can't say, oh, it's a screen resolution decision or whatever bollocks they're going to come out with to try and explain it away. It's just bad design. It is just awful design. Like, there is part of me, if I really felt like being a petty little bitch, which I often do, but I don't right now, that thinks I should make a point of teaching myself Unity and just remaking FM26 in Unity in like 6 months with no previous knowledge of how Unity works. Just because I think it could be done and because I think it'll be funny. But unfortunately, I can't make decisions based on I think that'll be funny because that's a bad way to live your life. Yeah, the competition screen, just, yeah, yes, mate. It's absolute stupidity. Alright, we're not going to Stockholm. I don't think we're leaving unless someone comes in for us at this point. Because, yeah, it's passable, but like, I think if someone gave this UI to you as like a GCSE coding project, you'd be like, oh, that's an excellent job. But the fact that a professional studio owned by Sega has spent 5 years on this is embarrassing. To have obvious things like this that don't, like, the reason there's that much free space, realistically, is because they want you to have this little job advert thing at the bottom, but that could just pop up when I click on a club. There's no reason for it to just be there when I'm not clicked on a club, or when I haven't clicked on anything yet. We're not going to get a job at Cottbus, are we? There's no way we've got the reputation for a job at Cottbus. I might have a cheeky throw in for the Kaiserslautern job because they've just been relegated from the Zwei Bundesliga. Yeah, that's it. Give the option to have it there or not. Yeah, because we've only got an obscure reputation. And yeah, the Energy Cottbus job is there, but we can have a look at the Brisbane Raw too. They're too big for us. Like, the reason I think we might have a half a shot at getting the Kaiserslautern job is because they've just been relegated. Realistically, we wouldn't get it. Realistically, we'd have no chance of getting it. It's like, and this is where the game kind of lets itself down a bit, like that Pirai job in Tahiti. I think we'd probably get that in real life with the CV we've got, but we wouldn't get it in game. And like, these players all look like they're utter crap if we could see their things, but you'd piss the league with Pirai. You'd absolutely, you'd be stat padding like you're Ronaldo in Saudi Arabia. Or GTEX. Maybe GTEX. That does kind of rely on the idea that, oh, we could go to Ibiza. I just saw something cheeky and the jokes write themselves. Where did you go? That's the thing that annoys me. I can't find things once I've seen them because they disappear. Because of the stupid interface. But I know I saw it. I saw the one where the jokes write themselves. I just have to find it again. JS Dong Victory. We can have a Dong Victory. They would have to have some money. Oh, there's a Peng City there too. Oh look, Stream Boo. Remove the Stream Boo, you friggin' dicks. China's quite a fun challenge. The only downside to, oh, they've got a caretaker, and the only downside to China is you have to have a Chinese goalkeeper, and the game only generates about 3 6-foot plus Chinese goalkeepers in each batch of regens, and they all end up being complete crap. Oh, they've got a knockoff Salford badge. But like, if you get that one youth intake that gets the 6 foot Chinese goalkeeper that can actually play football, you are laughing. Gtex are doing a thing. Ibiza might respond one day. I do think Ibiza would be a nice chapter in the save too. I think there's we've already battled a Bond villain and survived both him and his successor. Having a little Ibiza party, trying to take them to La Liga would be fun. Because realistically, I know we can get a job back in England at any time. I also haven't touched any transfers yet for Hemel Hempstead, purely because everyone wants too much money while they've still got a club. Even the ones that have been told they can leave will ask me for too much money. And it is just going to be a case of I'm going to trial everyone that gets released by all the London clubs. To keep our realism real. And sign the best ones that will come to us. All continental qualifiers decided. Did we qualify for a continental competition? I bet we didn't. Some shit would have had to have gone very wrong for Hemel Hempstead of the National League North to qualify. All of our jobs, I don't remember applying for SC Verl. I don't know who they are. I don't think I remember applying for that job. I remember applying for the KFC job. We didn't get the KFC job. Nobody particularly interesting qualified for Europe. Who are you? And when did I apply for that? I don't think I applied for that job. I do like that I've applied for about 50 different jobs and the board haven't fired me yet. That's nice. Ooh. Okay, wild, but what if we had a little trip to Sweden with Balkan and built a squad entirely of players from the Balkans? Which would give us Albania, Bosnia, Bulgaria, Croatia, Kosovo, Montenegro, Macedonia, Romania, Serbia and Slovenia. We'll chuck in a cheeky application, just in case. Because they are savable. Let's give it a go. Let's give it a go. Why not? We'll just chuck a... Yeah, it might be as well because we are already in a job. That's not impossible. It could just be that maybe they'd be interested in us, but they couldn't afford our release clause or whatever. Which, again, isn't a problem. Like, I'm not stressing over it. It's mostly just passing time because I cannot touch a transfer until July starts, so... Oh. Joe, I think it might be time. It might be time to make an executive decision because this feels like it's taking forever in the middle of the night to get through. And I did say I was going to stop streaming at 1, so I've only missed by like 20 minutes. I think we should go end the stream. We'll say goodbye to YouTube. So goodbye YouTube. Thank you for being here. We love you very much. And we'll see you again very soon. Just as soon as I remember how to end a live on YouTube because my brain just went burp. We'll say goodbye to YouTube in just a moment. So yes, thank you to you guys and those of you who watch the VOD. And then here on the Twitch, we will go and do a raid out just because like I said, I think we're just going to be sat here